Smile. A small word that changed my life. I'm amazed how underrated smile is. I was obsessed with smiling since childhood, and I used to wonder, why don't people smile much? I love smiling and seeing people smile. Little did I know then that smiling has healing properties, and there is a healing therapy called medical clowning. I came across this term in January 2016 when I met a girl who clowns at a hospital in Baroda. I was intrigued, and this somehow stayed with me till my return to Delhi. I started looking for people who were clowning in Delhi. I read all about it. I was fascinated and wanted to clown myself. I wanted to feel how does it feel to become a clown. I couldn't find anyone for a long time. During this time, I was in constant touch with the clown that I had met in Ahmedabad. I kept telling her how interested I am and kept asking her questions. One day, she sensed my passion and said, "If you're so willing to do this, why don't you start this in Delhi?" I was shocked. I was like, suddenly a zillion thoughts went into my mind, and I was like, really? Nah, I won't be able to do it. I have never done anything like this. I have no previous experience in theater, and I am not that social. I have never been that social, and I'm somewhat shy too. I have always been an introvert. I said, no, it's not my cup of tea. I won't be able to do it. How can I take an initiative? That too in the capital city of India. However, amidst the noise of all these thoughts, there was a whisper overpowering it all. Why not? I told myself, I was so keen all this while, then why this reluctance to grab this opportunity that is right there in front of me? It was as if life was throwing a challenge at me. And I said to myself, let's do it. I started working on getting the permission from the Health Ministry of Delhi and started looking for volunteers. On 9th July 2016, clowning in Delhi started with 6 volunteers who donned clown hats, painted their faces, and put on a clown nose. With no previous experience in clowning, but with a zeal that was unmatched. We performed using balloons in the OPD. We smiled and laughed. We sang and danced. Amused faces welcomed us when we entered the inpatient wards and did small fun activities with the children in the inpatient wards. It was beautiful. We laughed for hours and hours, and we kept playing around with every children that we met. On a regular basis, we go to OPD, inpatient wards, emergency care, and preoperative care. We also cater to geriatric care. We go to old age homes to spend time with the elderly and to share some light moments with them. An amalgamation of a clown and integrating techniques of counseling gave birth to Clownselors. The focus of the intervention is to de-stress ailing patients and to reduce the pain and spread more joy. We all know hospitals are the most terrifying spaces that there are. I still have to plan 2-3 months to actually visit a doctor. I remember the first time when we finished clowning, I couldn't stop smiling for days, and I said, this is what I call being smile hungover. I was smile hungover for a week. And then I realized after clowning, we've been clowning for more than a year now, and I realized that each clowning experience is so different from the other. Though we are making children laugh, but still it is always different from the previous one. And it is a beautiful experience that can only be felt. It is a blessing. And we are so thankful for everything that we have in life. So Clownselors are doing the rounds of the hospitals for more than a year now. And each clowning experience, like I said, is different from the other. So I vividly remember there was once a girl in an isolation ward who was lying in a bed almost lifeless. Since it was an isolation ward, we could not enter. I stood outside trying to cheer her up. After several minutes of juggling the balloon and making faces, I'm best at doing that, she finally smiled. Yes, she smiled. I saw her body move and react, and she tried to get up, and she smiled again. Her overwhelmed mother later shared that she had been lying motionless for 8 days, not reacting to anything. It is heartwarming when parents of the children drop a tear of happiness when they see their children react after days of lying motionless in that hospital setting. There are times when children are not eating or drinking anything, and when they engage with us, they start eating and drinking, which is the only way to their recovery. There are also times when a child is not smiling or reacting to anything that is happening around them. And doctors say that because they are not reacting, they are not able to recover. After playing with us and engaging with us, the child at times smiles, not just smiles, but sits on their own while they were not even able to move their hands before we entered. Almost every week, we get to hear from parents that our child has been so sad since the day he has been admitted in the hospital, but today he is smiling and has started playing with other children too. Hospital clowning is extremely difficult because we are working in a very vulnerable space and we have to be extremely sensitive ourselves. We have seen children dying in front of our own eyes. It's not easy. It's not, and you don't know how to react at times. And hospital clowning is actually about reaching out to people who are in need of love and care and loving them unconditionally. It's like saying, hey, you're not alone in this. Let's fight it together. It's about celebrating life itself. I remember there was once a girl who was feeling very sick, and I walked in. She was calling for her mother. She couldn't see her anywhere. She saw me and hugged me tight. We stayed like that for a few moments, and no words exchanged, nothing at all, but she felt relieved, and her stress levels went down. Hospital clowning is not easy because seeing children suffer is terrible. But when a child holds our hand and asks us to just be there because they feel better is rewarding. It's like we all need somebody to tell us, hey, it'll be fine, don't worry, all will be fine, all is well. Hospital clowning is not just about patients, though the focus of the entire setup in the hospital is generally on the patients only. Care providers such as parents, hospital staff and doctors are under tremendous stress and pain too. We do different activities with the care providers as well, which helps them in dealing with the stressful situations better with new positivity and enthusiasm that helps them in difficult times. Every time we do an act with the nursing staff, Sister Geeta Girdhar, one of the head nursing staff, comes and gives us a bear hug, saying that this 2-minute act gives them enough positivity to keep going and to deal with working with sick children. Hospital clowning or Clownselors is not just about clowning and the relief and joy it brings to people. Every volunteer that comes, dresses up as a clown and comes week after week for clowning, leaving their weekend activities at times and at times taking leave from the work, is there because they feel passion towards it. There is some kind of a dedication and they feel for the cause. The passion each volunteer brings to the hospital gives us hope in humanity, that not all is lost yet, and there is still some humanity, and not all is lost in the material culture that this society is hopelessly embedded in. As for me, I was living an ordinary life. Clownselors made it extraordinary and filled my life with contentment and fulfillment that cannot be expressed into words. The biggest lesson that clowning has taught me is nothing, absolutely nothing is meaningless. And when you're one with yourself, there is no looking back. My vision is to see clowning reach the remote parts of the country, spread more and more smiles, and take away as much pain as possible. I want to see doses of laughter being given same importance as medicines in all the hospitals and care centers. I want to see medical clowning become the prescription that the world needs today of love and compassion. On this note, may I please request all of you to stand up. Now, can you all please smile? Beautiful smile. Turn to the person standing next to you. You have to turn, you have to look for a partner. And give them a nice warm hug. Hug, hug. And keeping that smile intact, please be seated. Thank you.